Hey YouTube, Koukan here with a review of the Kamen Rider Drive DX Handle Ken, otherwise known as the Handle Sword, Ken meaning sword, but it's officially romanized as the Handle Ken, so that is what I am going with. This was released in early November 2014 for about 4,800 yen, give or take, depending on where you buy it. So about $45 or so. This includes the Handle Ken and the Shift Wild Shift Car, so we can transform into this awesome looking guy, Kamen Rider Drive Type Wild. So let's go ahead and get this open and take a look. And so here is the Handle Ken, and as you can see, it is aptly named. Shinosuke did a great job, because that's essentially what it is. It's a sword with a steering wheel attached, which is normally called like a handle in Japan. So it's pretty simple. The sounds are there. Absolutely, we'll get to that. The blade itself is pretty small. It's nothing huge. It's very dagger-esque. Very not large whatsoever. But that's more or less to be expected with sword toys. I can't remember the last decently sized sword toy we've had in Japan. The last good sword toy I remember is the Samurai Mega Blade, but that was not in Japan, so I have no idea when the last time they did a nice sized sword is, but safety laws and costs and all that fun stuff. So it looks cool though. It's very techno-ish with all of the sort of grid-looking mechanics to it. I really dig the way it looks. I just wish it was longer. As with most of these type of toys. Slot for a shift car right there. We'll take a look at that. Handle right here. It fits my hand, but my hands are really small. So most people are probably going to have to under-pinky it if you're an adult collector. But perfectly sized for the kids. Handle, the steering wheel up here. Turn, 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 and a horn button. And then you got the cool design up here that looks like the front of Tridoron when it's in Type Wild, or the chest piece of Type Wild for Drive. So that is cool. There are some LEDs in those headlights there. We'll take a look at that. But that is about it for the cosmetics of the device. The on and off switch is right there. It does take 2 AAA batteries. Turn your handle. I certainly will. Belts on. So there are LEDs in there, as you can see if we turn. And the LED will blink depending on which side you turned. So if we switch it onto this side, that side will blink. And if we do a U-turn, it'll go back to that side. And there's one additional mode, but we will take a look at that in a moment. So turning it off and turning it back on, you get both lights. So this has multiple different attack modes. The single attack mode, the trigger is right there. You just get a generic sword noise. One singular sword noise. No LEDs in the blade at all, and no LEDs when you're doing the generic attack. If you turn once, you do of course get the LEDs in whatever direction you turned. And a slightly different attack. Not a whole big difference. It's slightly stronger. Slightly. And if you do it twice, you get the same sort of attack. It's not really all that thrilling. But if you do it 3 times, you get the U-turn sound and the same sort of generic attack. So it doesn't matter what you do, you get that normal attack noise. However, no matter how many times you turn this, if you press the horn, which is an actual horn by the way, and it causes both LEDs to light up. Love it. No matter how many times you turn this, if you hit the button, you'll activate a drift turn or like a drift spin. Drift Kaiten is the actual term it uses. You'll get an explosion at the end. Yay! So no matter how many times you turn it, you get that generic sort of slightly powered up attack, and then the drift turn or drift spin, you get an explosion at the end of said attack. So that... So not a whole lot there. However, if you insert a shift car, there is no reader in here. It's just a button back there that it presses. We're going to use Shift Wild, which we'll take a look at after this. Both light up. Oh man, powered up attacks right there. So having the shift car in there does not change any of the attack sounds, but it looks kind of neat anyway. So press the button, slide the shift car out, and that's basically about it for this thing. But there is one more feature that we will take a look at after we look at the shift car inside driver. And then finally, if we keep him active, we can get a little bit extra using the handle can. So that is really, really cool. And if by chance we used a Tire Koukan, so this type of communication will work with any of the shift cars. As you can see, it read rumble dump just fine and changed all of these sounds to the dump association as opposed to the wild association. So that is a really cool sort of gimmick that they tossed in here that they really didn't have to do, and it's kind of neat. So overall, whether this is worth it to you is more or less up to your digression. For what it is, it's a fun toy. It could use a little bit more sounds and some more different types of sounds corresponding to which attack you're using. But what can you do? The horn sounds fun to beep, at least. But given that, it does come with the DX Shift Wild Shift Car, and it's the only way to get that. You can get a Gashapon or SG, Candy Toy version. But that one has the clickies and the flat sticker and stuff, so it really depends if that kind of thing bothers you. However, the integration with the driver to communicate with the handle can, I think, is very cool. It's rare that the weapon can communicate with the driver directly. In fact, I don't really remember any time that happened, except maybe Deno, but it's really neat, and it sort of gives you an incentive to buy all of the roleplay toys, the fact that it can communicate with each other, because it's the only way to get that steering wheel logo on the driver. So with that in mind, it's a really fun toy that I'm sure kids will really like, and it does have a decent amount of playability when you combine it with the driver. However, if you don't have the driver, then it's probably a pretty flat of a purchase, but I don't know why you'd be looking at it anyway. So really, it's all up to you on how much you want that wild shift car, and whether you think this is fun. It could be a lot better, but for what it still is decently fun, just not quite for that price. I would recommend waiting for a sale of some sort. So, thanks for watching. Take care and have a great one. Bye.